Silent hover. On a clear day in Iquique, Chile, a driver who was going about his usual daily routine stumbled upon something quite unusual at a far distance. The witness, who goes by the username BrunoTV, was outside enjoying the view of the mountains when this mysterious UFO caught his undivided attention. Take a look. The footage shows what looks like a strange white cigar-shaped object can be seen hovering still just above the mountain range. At first, he thought it might be a plane or a weather balloon, but as he zoomed in, he realized that this object was stationary and wasn't like anything he'd seen before. The object was long and thin and elongated. It glowed with an odd white light that stood out sharply against the sky. In the video, we can see the UFO doesn't move much, just hangs there in the air. There are no visible wings or engines. It doesn't leave any trail in the sky. It's just there, defying explanation. The witness watched this strange UFO for 1 whole minute, recording the sighting as much as he could. What's interesting about this is that cigar-shaped UFOs have been reported so many times all over the world. Some think these might be motherships carrying smaller craft. Others wonder if it's a new type of secret military vehicle. But if it was indeed a secret government project, then why would the government disclose it in the open for everyone to see? Looks weird, isn't it? The object's unusual shape and bright appearance make it stand out as anomalous compared to common aerial phenomena like aircraft or weather balloons, contributing to its classification as an unidentified flying object in this context. The object is glowing white or very light in color, making it stand out sharply against its surroundings. It seems to be hovering motionless, with no visible means of propulsion or support. While small in the overall image, the UFO is clearly defined and separate from any clouds or atmospheric phenomena. Its edges appear somewhat fuzzy or blurred, which could be due to the distance, atmospheric conditions, or the nature of the object itself. But what do you make of it? Is it some normal, ordinary object hovering in the sky with no means of propulsion? Or is it something far more extraordinary? Well, you decide. Abnormal movements. On June 18, 2024, in the coastal city of Florianopolis, Brazil, Angelo Mascarenhas, a local resident who was enjoying the ocean view, spotted something really bizarre high up in the sky. What he captured on video was truly mind-boggling. Take a look. The video shows what looks like a bright white object moving right to left in the sky. At first, Angelo thought it might be a plane or a bird, but as he watched, he realized this was something far more extraordinary. The object moved in ways that didn't make sense for any normal aircraft. Sometimes it accelerates suddenly, other times it slows down rapidly. But most surprisingly, it would sometimes come to a complete stop, hovering motionless in the air. What's even more weirder is, Angelo even reported that the UFO would disappear behind the clouds multiple times, then suddenly show up again, but in a completely different spot. Sometimes it seemed to be right above the water, and other times it appeared far away near the hills. However, these phenomena were witnessed prior to recording this video. The object's speed was puzzling. One moment it would zip across the screen so fast, Angelo could barely keep up with his camera. The next moment, it would slow to a crawl, almost as if it was scanning the area below. What made this sighting even more intriguing was that Angelo saw more than one object. While his camera focused on the main UFO, he spotted others appearing and disappearing around the distant hills. These were too far away for his phone to capture clearly, but they added to the mystery of what was happening in the skies over Florianopolis that day. Some suggested it might be a plane leaving the area, as Angelo lived near an airport. However, to prove this wrong, Angelo even provided a video where a plane can be seen rising from below, so in comparison to the plane, the UFO is clearly distinguishable. Also, the bizarre movement displayed by this UFO already provides enough evidence to dismiss the plane theory. Others wondered if it could be a natural phenomenon, like ball lightning or something like that. But none of these explanations seemed to fully account for what Angelo had seen and recorded. Though the video is quite interesting, it does lack in providing conclusive details. So whatever this mysterious UFO is, I leave it up to you to decide. Strange encounter. On a clear day in a quiet suburban neighborhood, Janice Frank, a YouTuber who shares various interesting mysterious sightings, was going about her usual routine when something truly extraordinary caught her eye high up in the sky. Janice quickly grabbed her camera to document this strange occurrence. The footage, which lasts about 4 minutes, shows a peaceful residential area with houses and green lawns in the foreground. Above, in the pale blue sky, a mysterious white object can be seen hovering high up, without any means of propulsion. At first glance, it might be mistaken for a distant plane or a large bird, but its strange behavior soon proves to be far from ordinary. As Janice films, the object's movements become increasingly bizarre. The object, while flying in a horizontal position, suddenly seems to tilt and fly downward, only to rise up again moments later. This unusual up and down motion repeats several times throughout the video, defying explanation for any known aircraft. The UFO's flight pattern is equally confusing. It moves from right to left across the sky, then reverses direction, going from left to right. After these strange maneuvers, it often pauses, seeming to hover motionless for brief periods before resuming its back-and-forth journey. This loop of movement continues throughout the entire recording. One of the most striking aspects of the sighting is how the object interacts with sunlight. At times, it reflects the sun so brightly that it becomes extremely bright to look at, appearing almost like a brilliant star in the daytime sky. And sometimes it dims. These flashes of intense light make the object even more noticeable and mysterious. Throughout the video, Janice keeps her camera steady, tracking the UFO's movements. The UFO seems to keep returning to the same area of sky, as if patrolling or examining something below. Janice mentions that she's seen many strange things over the years, but this sighting is a new addition to her list of unexplained phenomena. The suburban setting of the video adds an extra layer of intrigue to the sighting. The UFO's ability to hover, change direction abruptly, and move in ways that don't match any known aircraft spark curiosity and debate among viewers. But since there are no more witnesses and any additional details, this video remains a complete mystery. Leaked government UFO encounter. If you appreciate the hours of work and effort that goes into creating these videos, then you can show your support by buying me a coffee by clicking the link in the description below, and I'll be more than thankful to you guys for all time. In 2018, a remarkable event occurred that caught the attention of both military personnel and UFO enthusiasts. Two pilots flying an F/A-18 fighter jet encountered something disturbing high above the Earth's surface that they couldn't explain. The pilots were on a routine flight, cruising at around 30,000 feet. The sky was clear and visibility was good. Suddenly, one of the pilots spotted something extremely peculiar. Floating motionless in the air was an object that didn't look like any aircraft they'd ever seen before. As they flew closer, the pilots could see the object more clearly. It was cube-shaped and silver in color. What made it even stranger was that it wasn't moving at all. It just hovered there, as if gravity didn't affect it. The pilots approached within about 1,000 feet of the object. While this might sound close in the vast sky, it was still quite a distance. One of the pilots managed to take a photo using their cell phone. The image, while not very clear, shows a small, silvery-shaped UFO with blue imprints on it, flying motionless against the blue sky. This sighting might have remained just another story if not for what happened next. The photo somehow made its way to a secure network used by the US Department of Defense. It was shared by a group called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. This is a team set up by the government to look into reports of strange things in the sky. When the image was leaked, it caused quite a stir in the community. People who study UFOs were very interested because the object in the photo doesn't look like any normal aircraft. Some experts pointed out that it resembles a weather device called a dropsonde, which scientists use to study storms. But here's the thing. Dropsondes are meant to fall from the sky due to the force of gravity, and they don't just hover in one place. Now here's where things become even more mysterious. You see, the Pentagon, when asked about the image, didn't say much at all. They straight away denied to comment on this strange UFO. Of course, they couldn't confirm or deny anything about it. However, this lack of information and effort to investigate this matter only made people more curious about what the pilots had actually seen in the sky. What makes this sighting interesting is not just what the object looked like, but how it behaved. Most aircraft need to keep moving to stay in the air. This object was just sitting there, high up where the air is completely thin. It didn't seem to have any wings or engines, and the fact that trained military pilots saw this object and thought it was strange enough to photograph adds a whole lot of weight to this particular sighting. These are people who are used to seeing all kinds of strange things in the sky. For something to surprise them, it must have been truly unusual. It shows that even with all our advanced technology, there are still things in our skies that we can't easily explain. But what are your thoughts on this one? Let me know in the comments below. Right above head. In February 2020, in Bogota, Texas, a person driving along the highway encountered an astonishing sight that left him absolutely shocked. As he cruised down the road at 75 miles per hour, something really unusual caught his attention in the dark sky ahead. Take a look. The footage recorded by the driver shows what looks like three mysterious bright red lights flying in the sky. At first, he thought it might be a plane or helicopter, but as the UFO drew closer, it became clear this was no ordinary aircraft. Quickly, the driver grabbed his phone and started recording. The three distinct red lights look like they are arranged in a triangular formation, because when the UFO is almost overhead, its shape becomes more clear. It's not just lights, but a solid triangular form. The UFO seems to be flying low, with the witness estimating it was only about 30 feet above the ground. This proximity adds to the strangeness of the encounter, as most aircraft wouldn't fly so close to traffic. What happens next in the video is even more startling. The triangular object, which had been moving steadily towards the car, suddenly stops. For a brief moment, it hovers directly over the vehicle. The witness describes this moment as lasting only a second, but it must have felt much longer in the heat of the moment. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the UFO vanished. The footage, which has since been shared online, has sparked a lot of interest. It's been viewed over thousands of times online, with many people offering their thoughts on what it could be. Some viewers believe this sighting is connected to other triangle UFO reports from around Texas and beyond. One theory that's gained traction is that this could be the rumored TR-3B spy plane. This aircraft, which some believe is part of a secret military project, is said to have a triangular shape and advanced flying capabilities. However, the existence of such a plane has never been officially confirmed. What makes this sighting particularly interesting is how close the object came to the witness. Most UFO sightings happen at a distance, but this one was right overhead. The low altitude and the way it hovered over the car before disappearing are details that set this encounter particularly amazing. As with many UFO sightings, this event raises more questions than answers. Was it a secret military craft, a misidentified conventional object, or something truly unexplainable? Well, I leave it up to you to decide. Make sure to watch these other amazing UFO encounters as well, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more UFO videos in the future.